In Hearthstone, if a card's power level needs to be adjusted, there are only a limited number of ways to do it. You can change the mana cost, you can change the attack value, you can change the health, you can change the card text. You can also change the minion type, although this option hasn't yet been used for balance purposes. What happens if a card is too strong, but adjusting any of these values would completely kill the card? Let's take a look at pre-nerf Fiery War Axe, circa 2017. Back in the day, what decks was it used in? Well, it was an auto-include for any warrior deck. It could fit in your control deck, your combo deck, your tempo deck, or your aggro deck. So how can you go about nerfing this card? You can lower the attack, but a 2 damage swing is useless. Not enough for control to deal with high value early game targets, not enough for aggro to deal face damage. You could reduce the durability by 1, but that would make it worse than every 2 mana removal. Ultimately, they decided to nerf the mana cost. Today, Fiery War Axe is considered to be among the worst warrior weapons to include when deck building. So let's look at why the card was nerfed in the first place. In most decks, like Control, it was a fairly balanced removal tool that allowed you to deal with 2 enemy minions. But in aggro decks, it was used for one place: the face. This weapon was nerfed specifically to target an aggressive pirate warrior, which at the time had pirates that would gain bonuses if a weapon was equipped. So getting that weapon up on turn 2 was very important to that deck. The problem with this 3 mana nerf was that it didn't just affect aggro, it affected every warrior deck. Pirate Warrior at the time was absolute cancer to deal with, it's true, but if that deck didn't exist, Fiery War Axe would be quite fair in combo and control as a minion removal tool. With this nerf, Pirate Warrior was successfully reduced in power, but tempo and control, which were already struggling, became bottom of the barrel. Now, of course this nerf wasn't the only factor, not by a long shot, but taking such a beloved warrior removal tool away hurt the class a lot. So, is there a way to bring back this iconic weapon and help control without making aggro too strong? I believe the answer lies in Hearthstone's newest keyword, Manathirst. Manathirst gives you a bonus effect if you play the card when you have a certain amount of mana crystals. For every class other than Druid, this means that if a card says Manathirst 7, you must wait until turn 7 to play that card if you want the bonus. Although current Manathirst cards are largely lackluster, I think the potential for this keyword is so great that it should be made into an evergreen keyword. There are 3 types of cards that would greatly benefit from Manathirst being an evergreen keyword. Let's look at an example of each. The first type is a card which is too strong. For this, let's go back to that Fiery War Axe example. If you change the card to be, like, reduce the durability to 1, but you were able to bring that durability back with Manathirst, the card would be largely unchanged for control, but a tough decision to include for aggro. And now with the card at 2 mana, being able to play it on turn 2 for something like a Peasant emergency is still an option. The second type is a card that is too weak at its current mana cost. For this, let's look at Mossy Horror. In today's meta, the card is extremely weak at 6 mana, but it's priced so high because they don't want a neutral card to have access to that effect so early in the game. But if it was, say, a 3 mana card with Manathirst 6, you would still need to wait until turn 6 to get the effect, but you would also free up 3 extra mana crystals on that turn, which could push the card into viability. The final type is a card that could be balanced by not having a battlecry. For example, a part of why Sire Denathrius was nerfed had to do with battlecry support cards like Bran and Macaw, which made the battlecry do double damage. By changing it to Manathirst instead of battlecry, the effect will no longer double, and the card will still be strong, but fair. For these reasons, Manathirst would be a great evergreen addition to Team 5's set of balancing tools. What inspired me to make this video was that I had a Play Manathirst Cards quest, and noticed only 12 collectible cards in the game feature this keyword. That is extremely underutilized for an expansion keyword. Manathirst is a great idea, and I'm happy Team 5 put it in the game. Now, they should use it, not only in the upcoming mini-set, but as another dial that can be adjusted when balancing any card. I'd love to hear your thoughts about Manathirst as well. I feel that it's been mostly under the radar this expansion, with a few exceptions. And please do take a moment to subscribe so I can continue using my spare time to make more videos like this one. Thanks very much for your time, and have a good one.